So, let's see. I'll just use the space table. All right. Okay, so the very first thing I would do would be assume my motif with everyone else. Are we freshly returned to France and to Paris, or have we lived here a long time? What are we up to? What is our deal? We would work that out together, and then we begin rolling. So first thing I need to determine is let me get the text here. Some weird text to put on this screen. First thing I need to determine is my character's starting wealth. So I want 3d6 quality of birth to begin. 3d6. All right, 17. Ooh, noblesse d'épée without title. All right, so let's see. Birth. I'm a big fancy noble. All right, so it gives me +2 wealth. And let's see. Oh, am I without title? -1 wealth, -3 property, -1 wealth, -3 prop, and 2 obligations. All right, cool. So that's my character's birth. I am a noble with no title, and this would actually be a -1 wealth. Okay, all right. Now I gotta roll on my wealth table. So on the wealth table, 3d6 -1. Great. I'm gonna be poor. I'm gonna be a poor noble, aren't I? Oops. No, come back. I just closed my window. All right, hold on. What a fool. I can reopen the tab though. What a fool I am. Okay. I just didn't want to roll on that wealth table. I was terrified. All right, so our boy, this future noble has to roll 3d6 -1. Come on, big money. I got that, an 8. Poverty! Yay! Great. So, wealth, poverty. It's a 9, but I'm -1 because I'm -1 for my birth. So poverty, my wealth rating is, let's see, 2d3 +1. Oh, did I already put the -1? Oh, it is 9. Okay. Same result. Still poverty, though. Okay. So let's see. Roll 2d3 +1. Nope. /roll. Thank you. There it is. 5. Okay. So wealth rating. It's 5. There we go. Okay. It's fantastic. I'm glad that I'm poor. Okay. And then property. So the property table is -3 to 2d6 -3. Oh God. I own fucking nothing. I'm homeless. Awesome. Homeless. Good. Ah, yes. My estate are the parks and streets of Gay Paris. Everything's fine. I'm a homeless noble. So that gives me no additional obligation. My wealth rating drops to 4 now. My God. All right. And then I have dependents. I have 1d4 -1 for dependents. Okay. Dependents. Okay. How many do I have? 1d4 -3. Or -1. Come on, 1. None. No dependents. Damn it. I have 2. Okay. I have 2. Let's see who they are. I have an infirm grandfather. Damn it, grandfather. Infirm grandfather. Good. All right. My infirm grandfather, and who else is dependent on me? A child. Oh my God. Where's my wife? Where's my wife? Where's my mother? Where's my father? Where are all these people? Maybe they're not dependent on me. So I have to take care of a kid and my infirm grandfather. All this I'm a homeless, poor, former noble. Oh, help me. All right. Let's see. Oh, hold on. These might not be my children. Let me roll a d6 to see my relationship with them. So, number 2. Okay, blood. It is my grandfather. Blood. Now, is this child mine? It is an in-law. The child of an in-law. So it's like my brother's son. Which I guess would make them like, they would make them my nephew. It's just a child. Yeah, or my sister's child. Yeah, something like that. It basically makes them a niece or a nephew, but through, like, I have to care for them. They're not a grown-up. They're a child. They're a baby. My wife's brother's son. Anyway, so it's a child-in-law. Yeah, great. Yeah, it would be my wife's brother's kid, wouldn't it? Because it would be like my son-in-law? No, wait, because then maybe I have I don't know how old I am. We'll figure it out. Okay, so let's see. My debts. How many debts do I have? How do I figure that out? You are dependent up to 3 souls. Wealth. I think it's just 1d6. I mean, it says on the table, but I don't know how many I'm supposed to start with. Number of obligations. Number of debts between 0 and 4. Let's see. 2 comes from birth. Yeah, but the obligations are my... Oh, dependents aren't obligations. Right. Of course. Christ. All right. I have 2 debts. Is that how that works? Yeah. Okay. Let's roll. I have a 3. Oh, no, sorry. A 1 and a 2. I owe money. I am owed money. Okay. Okay, so owed money. There we go. All right. I feel like it's supposed to be between 0 and 4, so I don't... I'm sure I just skipped over something. Okay, but anyway, I'm owed money, so somebody owes me 2d4 wealth. That's right. Somebody owes me some money. I'm not poor because I'm poor. I'm poor because I lent money to the wrong person. Yeah. I'm owed money, and then a 3 was the other one, and I have a sizable debt. +3 to obligation. Is it? Oh, it's 2d4. Yeah, 2d3 wealth. There you go. And sizable debt, +3 obligation. Yeah. I gotta get my money back so I can pay off my own debts. There's a chain of freeloaders here, and I am in this chain. Okay. All right. So yeah, birth quality obligations, property obligations, number of dependents. Okay, number of debts. Got it. So I have 5 total. Right. 2 dependents and then okay. All right. Well, so we'll see what obligation does later as a stat. So my nationality is French. Let's figure out my religion and my politics. So religion, let's roll 2d6 for God. Seven, I am a Huguenot. So I'm a French Protestant. Okay. And then I've got, let's see, another 2d6 for precedent. So who do I think should be in charge of France? Oh, did I get Catholic? Oh yeah, 4 to 7 is Catholic. That's right. Yeah, so I'm a Catholic. That's better. I feel less outnumbered. And then I got a 9. Ooh, I'm a frondeur, right? 2d6, got a 9. So the frondeur, I'm a Catholic, but I don't believe in the Queen or the King or I'm a weird parliamentarian. Okay, good. Maybe that's why I don't have any friends and why people won't pay me back. Politics, frondeur. Okay. And now I got to figure out my governing abilities. Here, I'm going to move this to another page. We'll make a new. We'll make a new page here. With black background so we can see this shit and we can, there we go. Okay. There's our terrible, crappy noble. Listen, he's trying. Let's figure out some stats for this nerd. Okay. So we need strength 3d6. Okay, 12. All right. Dexterity. And this will help me determine what life path I want to take, right? And see what I'm good at. All right, so 3d6 for my dexterity. Oh no. Oh no. Oh God. Why? No. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Let's see my constitution. 12, good. I'm sort of below average guy. Intelligence. Let's see. My intelligence is 3d6. Great, 6. Oh my God. I'm strong, but I'm slow and stupid. 3d6. For my wisdom. 13. Okay, did I become a priest? 13. I think all of these are just average. No, that's a +1. That's +1 to my wisdom. I'm like a friar or something. Okay, and then lastly, 3d6 for charisma. 12. Okay, this character's not terrible. Charisma 12. Okay. All right, so that means that wisdom is my only bonus. I'll get a +1 to any wisdom related stuff. My dexterity is a -2. Oh, Lord. And then my intelligence is a -1. Never get into a pistol duel because they will get to go before me in initiative, even if we're both wielding pistols. I'm the idiot who counts to 11, or like I lose count of how many paces that I've taken. Okay, all right. So my natural language is French. I get French at 3 of 6. I get no additional national language. I'm at -1. I can read and write my native language. I get no additional language, which I would if I was 9 to 12. So we recommend you choose one life path and advance it to level 3. Check the requirements. You may need specific languages. So I am not going to be allowed to become like a Jesuit because I can't speak Latin. But let's see what else we got here. So let's look at life paths. Let's take a look at our options for life paths. So each life path has requirements. They might have a patent of nobility that is required. You get a certain number of hit points, and then you get your saving throws. So you can repeat a life path up to 6 times. The starting character is like a 3 life path character. So here we go. Here are options. I can be les Américains. So someone who has lived in the colonies and returned, or who is born in the colony. In French law, it states any slave setting foot in France should be freed. Thus, a slow trickle of escaped slaves from New Spain and New France begin to make their way to the kingdom. You could also be anyone who lived there. So that's, you are an American. Yeah, be Lafayette. Exactly. Yeah. So that's, you can be an American as your first life path. So let's take a second. I'm going to look at this closer later. This is how experience works in the game. It is a series of boxes that you check based on activity in your life path. Just take a second to just like bask in how cool this is. So this tells you, do these things each time you take a life path. So you, at your first time, you will have known your character has already worked an honest trade for fair pay and avenged yourself on someone who defamed you, hurt you, or stole from you. So it's backstory because you start with this life path. You will have to, again, for level 2, work an honest trade for fair pay And honor your word when duplicity would be easier. You check those boxes to finish that life path. Then, if you want to take it a third time, work an honest trade, reconnect with an estranged family member, avenge yourself on someone who defamed you, hurt you, or stole from you. And so you fill these in columns as you go. We'll take a closer look as we get to when it actually explains these, but it's a card that basically says, play your damn character, right? So if you want to max out as an American, you must overthrow one who would enslave others. That is how you become a master of this life path. There's specific built-in rewards for doing things. It's a claims grid. That's right. So you're just checking boxes as you do things. So you will be looking for opportunities to reconnect with an estranged family member at least twice if you are upgrading this path. Yeah. Right. And it's like there are other games that do this, but I've never seen them in this way where it's like if you took the experience from Blades and that experience model had a baby with the mouse guard checks and fails model. This would be their game design baby. So as an American, I get worldly. I choose a second religion of my choice. Add one that is not listed to the limited list in this book. So instead of just being like, I'm Catholic, you can be like, yes, I'm Catholic, but also I have a religion from where I'm from, right? I have a Protestant religion from America, or I have an indigenous religion, or I have a modified indigenous religion that has been incorporated into Catholicism, right? So that's cool. You get the Scarred ability. You can ignore damage. And you have strong back, worldly, self-sufficient, world-weary, resourceful. Basically, you get all of this stuff where it's like you've escaped a life of servitude, and now you have some of these things that you have learned as a result. And you've escaped to France to become a member of Parisian society. So that's one of the life paths you can choose. You can choose to be a clerk, which means you are a copyist. You get Latin. You get bookkeeper, scrivener, record keeper. You have all of these things you need to do, like copy important documents, alter documents, keep record, draw up a contract, write a novel opinion and distribute it. You have to do that 4 times. I love it. So it's like goals of things that you need to do as this character. You could be an explorer. Come back to France to brag about your exploration. So if you want to play Volothamp, do this one. So what does what does extending or leveling up a life path do? It gives you bonuses to your skills. It allows you to train your skills. Copyist, bookkeeper, student, scrivener, all of those can increase as you take more levels of clerk, basically. Yeah, I like also that it gives you names for that life path. So if you wanted to play a clerk, you might name yourself Theophrastus. If you want to be an explorer, you might be named Christoph or Vasco or Valentine or Mary or Laura or Olympia. Olympia is such a fucking good name for a fucking badass French explorer lady. Yep. So you can be an explorer. You can be a factotum, right? A trusted servant. You could be a filou. They are criminals, basically. You could be a gamine, which are like Parisian orphans, right? The gamine are orphans on the street. They usually work with filou. So if you want to be a ragamuffin that steals things, you'll be between 9 and 12, I think, for starting age. You can be my favorite class, the Jesuit. If you want, I guess this is the wrong gesture for this one, I guess. I played a Jesuit, or I rolled up a Jesuit. You get magic, you get theology, you get the access to the prayers in the sacred and profane chapter. You have to pray for people and grant clemency and stuff. It's pretty fun. You can be a merchant. This is a very cosmopolitan time. So you could be someone who has visited the Philippines, Mexico, the islands, Japan. The world is sort of opening up to traders in this time. You can be a musketeer, right? An elite soldier in service to the king. You could be an occultist and study Goetia. You can be an officer. You can be a passeur. They're ferrymen on the Seine. They're the riverboat pilots. A petty noble, a philosopher, a sailor, a soldier, and that's it for the base book. So, what do you think? What do you think? I feel like petty noble might be our character's main choice here, because we're kind of, I don't know, we're kind of crap, right? Like, we're poor. Let's take a look. Let's see here. Human garbage. So I definitely can't be, I could maybe be like a failed merchant or a failing merchant. I could, definitely couldn't be a Jesuit because, well, I mean, I guess I could be a Jesuit, but like, I don't, is there a requirement to be one? No, I'm just a Catholic priest. Maybe I gave up that life. The guy, I don't think Gamine or Filud, they don't fit because I think I have like a kid, right? Yeah, I think petty noble might be the right call in this one. I think we just take petty noble. So let's do that. Let's see. I mean, I could also be an occultist. Could just be an occultist. I mean, petty noble seems good, but maybe I turned my back on that. Oh, required. There you go. Required. Fuck, I don't have Latin. Okay, I can't be an occultist. I don't speak Latin. I guess we're just going to be a shit. We're going to be a shit petty noble. But now remember, this isn't this isn't class. This is life path. And it's almost like a combination of Burning Wheel life paths and careers from like Zweihander or Warhammer, right? Because I think you can move into a life path. You can take on, so I could be a petty noble, I could learn Latin, and then I could become an occultist. Yeah. So this could be about the fall of this noble from divine grace, as opposed to one who has already fallen. Yeah. So the requirement for petty noble is a patent, which is you are a noble, and the king has given you your patent of nobility, which I have. I'm a noblesse d'épée. I'm a noble. I'm a impoverished homeless noble right now, but that's not my fault. It's my cousin. It's his fault. He did it. So as a petty noble, I would get +1 bonus to melee attacks. I would get the ability to parry. So this is like a sword noble. The ability to parry. I would get an additional attack at -4 because of the main gauche ability. I increase my leadership and fashion by 1. And I get a +1 damage to implore and flatter attacks. Up to +3. I begin with a rapier, worn set of once fashionable clothes, buckled shoes, a threadbare cloak, a jaunty hat, a swayback nag, and a letter indicating your patent of nobility. I kind of like this guy. I think his name would be like, I think he was on a trajectory to like have a good life, but maybe he like offended the wrong person. I think the thing was that he tried to land on a good marriage and he failed. I think he failed, like maybe his wife got sick or something, or he never got a chance to get married and someone like scooped him, and now he lives off of this owed money. Like somebody owes him money. He's trying to get it back. He's got this sizable debt. He's got this kid he has to look after. His infirm grandfather, who's like probably hidden away somewhere. Maybe the debt is to pay someone else to take care of my grandfather. Yeah, and he's broke, but he's trying to like get back. And I think he's aged out. I think he's probably older. But I guess we'll see. Let's find out. Let's find out if this tragedy happened early or late in his life. Oh no, he's just 18. So age 18, just a bad start. He's an adult, but yeah, he's got a bad start to the life. But he's got a sword and probably a bad temper. This guy is kind of like a French Cantor Hague, but instead of being a criminal, he's like actually a noble. And he thinks he can try it. Yeah, he blew everything. Maybe he killed the wrong person. Maybe he's got a really shitty, like a bad temper or something. Yeah. So to gain experience as this character, I would have to, let's see. I would have already gained the favor of a powerful member of court and fought a duel to defend my reputation. Then I would have gained a royal or official office, then come fashionably dressed to a ball. And then because I'm third, I would have gained the favor of another noble, fought another duel, and increased my title or rank. So I'm working on it, right? Like if I'm a third level petty noble, I'm doing okay. I'm climbing the ladder very slowly. If I want to continue, I need to gain another royal office or a better one. I need to come fashionably dressed to another ball, and now I need land. And that would be the thing I would be aiming for. This whole character's structure would be like this willful guy who maybe was injured in a duel or just born slow, but doesn't recognize his own incapacity, is trying to like push forward. And now all I need is land. I need some fucking land. I need to earn or take or something. And I've fallen in with these other goons. And my goal is to get land, then you get the noble title, and then I can get married. And then I don't have to live this shitty life anymore. And I can pay for my grandfather's Catholic funeral, expensive Catholic funeral, and I can take care of this kid that I can no longer. And so I've already got like characters, I've got a story, and all of this is just from building up these noble experience conditions and from rolling stats. I love rolling random characters. I would kill to play this character. This character would be so much fun. Like I'm already super invested in this poor noble idiot with no skills and a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. What are some good names for? I feel like he'd have to have a really like silly name. Like I like Rockford. Something like long though, like De La Fer, De l'Entrager, like some long-winded name. Yeah, and throughout all of this somehow be a frontier. I think probably he's just a political nihilist. He probably doesn't actually believe. He thinks everyone has let him down. He thinks that the church let him down, but he loves God. He thinks the cardinal is running this country into the ground. He thinks that Queen Anne is a fool. The nobility are fools, and someone needs to change things, but he probably doesn't have a lot of high-minded ideals about that. Yeah. Oh, this guy is, yeah. And I think he means well, right? I think that this child-in-law is what's turning him around. Yeah, it's everyone else's fault but his, but he fights for this kid, right? The kid is what keeps him. And I think it has to be the child of someone that he was like in love with, but who is dead, right? Someone that like it could have been, because what an in-law is your sibling's spouse. It's their kid, right? You're not necessarily, you're like half blood related to them. So it would have to be, yeah, like I think maybe it's like his beloved sister and her husband's kid, and they both died, maybe of like a plague or something, and he's just like heartbroken over his like beloved sister, and yeah, something like that. And this kid reminds him of his dead sister, and so he has to like take care of the kid, even though it's like ruining him and he has no money. So yeah, his whole thing would be the kid right there, and then this 2d3 wealth. Catholic people don't get divorces. Exactly. Yeah. That's great. I love it. Cool. Yeah, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it back. I got my letter. I got my rapier. I got the 5 wealth that I started with. Now, if we're the GM, this is the most tragic part of my character's story. Let's find out how long he's going to live. So, yeah, and -2 dexterity. He's clumsy. He's an oaf. It's not his fault. So let's see how many years he has to do this. His starting life path is petty noble. So 15 years plus 1d6. Oh no. Oh no, I have a year. I only have 1 year. I did that right? My starting age range is 16 to 21. Oh no, that's the roll. That's how old I am. Oh my God, that terrified me. I gotta roll on the other. That was just starting age. That was a repeat. Okay, So my life expectancy, Jesus, that would be terrifying. Let me roll. My quality of birth was noblesse d'épée, noble of the sword with no title. Okay, good. I have 40 plus 1d10 minus 1d4. Okay, 40 plus, good. We have some time. Minus 1d4. Can it do that? Let's try it. Okay, there we go. We have 44 years. I wouldn't know this as a player. So this is my what do we call this, life expectancy? 44 years. Okay. So yeah, we got 26 years to spend. All right, perfect. That's lots of time. Tons and tons of time for me to get a house and get a wife. And life expectancy is how long you expect to live. I will die at 44 if I don't spend any points. Yeah, that's right. No, your start is always like a fairly big number minus some stuff. But yeah, cool. Great. And then I got my starting age. I'm a young lad, a young French lad of 18, a new adult. I guess I've been an adult for like 3 years. But yes, it's time to go out there. I have a whole life ahead of me to try to do good by God and by this child and to pay for my grandfather's impending funeral. But I've made all these great friends, right? This motif ties us together. And I'm sure my friends will help me get that money back, right? That's why I've made friends with these criminals and vagabonds. I need some tough friends to help me convince my debtors to give me my money. Yeah. Cool. That's a great character. I would fucking love to play this character. Unfortunately, I only speak French, so hopefully none of them are foreigners. So let's talk a little bit more about advancement. So advancement in this system, let's see here, is driven by these boxes. You check these boxes off, right? So to enter the life path, you need to do whatever is on the left. So if you're not a gamine and you want to become one, you steal something. That gives you your introduction into that. Then if you want to advance, you have to steal again, then steal something important just for fun, then feign innocence to escape punishment or get revenge on a rival. So you have to become more and more like deeply built into the thing. You can only fill conditions for the next level that you don't have. Experience conditions exist for the game master to invite as scenarios and situations, make your soldiers hungry, give them vulnerable houses to break into, etc. Right? And then as you gain levels in a life path, you unlock the entire, when you get the new life path, you get all of the package of new skills, then you advance additional skills according to the table here. You can also, this is great, you can also advance your mentalities or your religion or your nationality, right? Your politics, your religion, your nationality. So if you want to become better at being French, you must visit the capital for a royal celebration, visit a new city or region in your country, explore an ancient or forgotten corner of your country, eat or drink a local delicacy, etc. If you want to be better at religion, express your beliefs through your action, acquire a relic, experience an act of God, right? Everything continues, right? Talk politics, make a stand, defend your political party, elect an important position from your party, right? Do political stuff. And then lastly, the characters have virtues and flaws before we get into like the magic stuff. So every heroic character, everyone in this game, after 4 to 6 sessions, you choose a virtue to represent your quality. Your highest rating provides you a list of options. So my character's highest rating was wisdom. So when we do the trait vote in this game, we stop and I might say, I think that Hubert de Rochefort I've learned humility. I think he's learned that while yes, the world is everyone's fault but his own, it's taught him to see the world through a humble view. Or I could be like, all of this bullshit has pushed me to become cunning. So that's what I'm going to do. So these are your virtues. You choose one from your highest ability. And then you earn a flaw. Your friends, after 4 to 6 sessions, your friends choose a flaw for you based on your how you've played your character. You do not have to pick your virtue and flaw in the same session. It's based on your lowest rating. So they might choose for me slothful, clumsy, cowardly, or covetous because of my dexterity being so bad. That was my worst one, right? Yeah, -2. Yeah. So, to bring your virtue into play, you describe your action in terms of your virtue, and you attempt a heroic task. They cite reasons why your virtue makes success a certainty. Odes to your character must include references to classical heroes, heroines, and gods, or to classical values. Right? You're not just brave. You are as brave as Odysseus, who set foot upon the salted boards of his ship and sailed away for glory. I, too, have that bravery, right? Once the pay-in to your nature is saying you pass the test without resorting to a roll, regardless of difficulty, you can invoke your virtue once per session. Virtues can never be invoked to break the setting or historical fiction. Playing your flaw automatically makes you fail a test, describing how your weakness gets you to that place. Should both your virtue and flaw be invoked while attempting an endeavor or accomplishing a mission, you get +1 to your next roll on the Mortal Coil exertion table. So there you go. Virtues and flaws. You reference them. They help you play your character. They can help you succeed, or if you auto-fail, they help mitigate the Mortal Coil exertion table. And then, of course, equipage. Several pages of exciting items like powder horns, cloaks, fashionable masks, helmets, beans, good ale, bad ale, war horses, the services of people. So I guess let's take a look at how this works. Everything in this game it costs livre, I think is the coin of the day. So it costs livre to buy this stuff, but we don't have that. We have wealth, right? So how do we convert wealth into livre? How do we buy things? So this is all equipment cost. Sure. I know what I start with. A livre is 20 sous. An écu is 3 livres. A pistole is 10 livres. A gold louis is 24 livres. But I'm not sure how I know how much like cash on hand we have. This is for generating NPCs, I think. Yeah. Attitudes and motivations. Yeah. Okay. I think wealth rating gives you, annual income. Of course. Right. So your wealth rating will I will get nothing. I cannot expect to get much money at all. Now, all of that is well and good, right? It's nice and important to know how we may make characters who have historically appropriate dramatical statistics and what have you. But what, Adam, I hear you asking, what about magic? What about magic, Adam? Let us talk both of the sacred and the profane. There are 2 books, the Book of God and the Book of Nature. The Book of God was given to us by the Bible. The Book of Nature is written all around us in the natural world. To understand the Word of God or the Book of Nature, one must study. One must have deep knowledge of the scriptures, the manners of all natural creatures, and names of the angels and demons. So, to go beyond the written word and discover the hidden truths of the universe, you got to get gnosis, special supernal knowledge called gnosis, represented by this symbol, which is a Greek character that I cannot remember. I heard it. I was told it. I don't remember what it is. I think it's theta? Gamma? That's gamma. Thank you, friends. So, gamma. Upside down L. That's gnosis. To cast rituals, spells, or mix formulas, you have to have gnosis. Gnosis is acquired by reading grimoires. Empowered by gnosis, we can remake our world with chemistry, theology, goetia, and theurgy. Without gnosis, we walk blindly through our lives. Most characters have gnosis of 0. Here's a fun thing. You do not know what you do not know. The Game Master tracks all gnosis. current gnosis of the character, gnosis rating of grimoires, gnosis requirements of summoning spells and formula. The title and author of the grimoire is known, even their general contents, but not the depths of the hidden knowledge within. So you don't know how many magic points you have. You don't know how much the stuff that you can cast is. The GM knows that. You simply attempt the spells. So to read a grimoire, you test your language skill. You might interpret or misinterpret it. It can give you gnosis as you read it to help you build up your stats. It takes time. You can read text fragments if you find bits and pieces of it. And it can teach you gnosis and abilities. So when I was flipping through this book, right? When Luke gave me the book and I was looking through it, I was like, French stuff, D&D stuff, life path, this is all cool. And I got to this next page and I believe I looked up at Luke and I said, "You're kidding me, right? These are all real books, aren't they?" To which he shyly nodded and said, "But of course. Welcome to Tome City. So if you need to know the name and the stats of a bunch of different real life books and what language they were written in, I've got several pages of them for you. So, if you want your characters to find a copy of the Holy Book of the Great Invisible Spirit written in the year 200 to learn the secrets of Theurgy and Goetia, now you know. Now you know. So those are all the books. If you wish to cast a spell, you must pass a skill test appropriate to your field. Jesuits use theology, philosophers use chemistry, etc. If you, there's a little table here. If you possess the correct gnosis and you succeed at the roll, you succeed. If you possess the gnosis, but you fuck up the roll, there's an unintended result. If you do not possess the gnosis and cast it correctly, deafening silence. If you screw it up and you didn't have the gnosis, catastrophic failure, because it's hubris and failure, right? So if you cast it, it works. If you screw it up, there's a table. If you really screw it up, there's a way worse table. So magic in this is creating things like alkahest, poison antidotes, poisons, dust of valerian, fumigants, right? You can be an alchemist. You can make Greek fire, right? That's a form of magic. Goetia is summoning demons to do your bidding, as taught to King Solomon by the archangel Raziel, a sealed testament that you can now learn to call for the demon. So you can summon a demon. The demon will try to screw you over. Here are a list of demons, just in case you need some. Here they all are. So if you, for example, wanted to summon Marbas, a president of heaven who comes in the form of a lion who can cause and cure disease, there you go. But if you want to summon Paimon, glorious king of heaven, whose name might be familiar to you, let us summon Paimon, king of hell, a crowned man riding a camel to teach us arts and scientists. Hail, Paimon! Hail! Let's do it. So these are demons. You can summon them if you want to bring them in to your game. It's dangerous. There they are. Necromancy, the summoning and commanding of demons, casting of necromantic spells, knocking people unconscious, growing strange plants, doing all kinds of weird stuff. And obviously these are all drawn from for like real life. And you can bring those into play. And then there's theology. Theology, which is the sorcery of the worship of God. This is that Jesuit shit. So if you're a Jesuit, you get to cast spells like confession or communion or the last rites. Like, I don't know if you expected like Jesus fireballs or whatever, but you're a priest. You get priest spells. But they're cool. You can abjure the devil and you can restore will by absolving people of their crimes. You can consecrate ground. You do priest stuff. You can marry people, right? You can grant +1. This is so good. There's mechanisms for marriage in this game. A Jesuit may perform the sacrament of marriage upon 2 willing individuals. A happy marriage grants both parties +1 will while it lasts. An unhappy marriage saps -1 will permanently from the aggrieved partner. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then, if you are a theurgist, you can summon and bind angels and spirits of the air. Yeah. And then this you can see, if you read this, you can see some of where the Codex, the Burning Wheel Codex, has influenced this, right? Yeah, cool, huh? So that's where the magic stuff is. Art gives you gnosis. I love this little sidebar. So when appreciating a master, anybody who has ever laid eyes on a piece of art so beautiful that it made them feel something deeply emotional, whether awe or fervor or terror, or in my case, frustration, you have experienced this rule. Appreciating a masterwork of fine art gains you 1d2 gnosis. Sometimes you might have to make a saving throw. But like, if you go and you look at, like for me, and I've mentioned this before, La Pieta, when I saw that statue for the first time, I was like stunned, just stunned by it. And it absolutely gave me some fucking gnosis. And I love that. I love that that's like in this world of misery and misfortune, looking upon art can give you a view into the truth of the universe. It's pretty cool. And then lastly, as promised, some linguistic guidelines for the modern player. Curses and exclamations. Mordieu. Pardieu. Mon Dieu. Sang Dieu. Serpent. So, yeah. If you want some curses, some appropriate French curses, now you have them. Yeah, not so much tabernacle, because that's Quebecois French. But you know what? If you're from New France, then perhaps. I really like this too. This is a great section. So this is the mode of the day. If you want to feel like your group is part of the milieu of the drama of the situation, it teaches you how to do that, right? Never say with 1 word what you could say with 3. Be polite, be slow to anger, but once angered, be unto the thunderbolts of Zeus. Be polite. Being rude is an insult. Begin by politeness. Speak obliquely, right? Not just, who are you, but would madame do the honor of introducing herself? And not, I kill you. Try instead, monsieur, I will leave you by the side of the road, much sorrier for our meeting. Speak colorfully, right? Do not leave me versus I forbid you to leave. The future cannot fail to mend. I inevitably look for better times. Or consider you owe me 3 months of rent money versus as it is 3 months since last you have been here, and though distracted as you must be in your important occupations, you have forgotten to pay me rent. As I say, I have not tormented you a single instant. I thought you would appreciate my delicacy. Reference classical figures. He is a rich one versus he is as rich as Croesus. And those are actual examples from Dumas. But isn't that fun? That like being super verbose and like how much fun would that be to play out at the table, right? Especially in a duel of wits, like 2 French nobles arguing with each other about some imagined slight over one's horse. Oh, so fun. Yeah. And I love that this is the note. This is the note that that Luke leaves us on, right? The challenge of this game, honestly, as with every game that is designed to fulfill a deep and powerful need, we are looking at Luke's answer not to our problems, but to his, right? Miseries and Misfortunes is a game that is made to solve Luke's problem that miseries and misfortunes did not exist in the world. It just so happens that because Luke Crane is a talented game designer, we are able to enjoy his gift to himself as well. Now, I saw more than anyone or more than any other comment in chat as I was going through this, a lot of like, this seems amazing to me. I would love to play this, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to get a group together, or I'm too intimidated to do it right. And I think that that's a part of the game's stuff. But as we looked through it, I think that you've noticed, especially in the experience tables, those experience sections teach your players how to tell that story, right? They teach your players how to do that thing. And I think, again, that's a Luke Crane design trick. That's Luke teaching us in the way that his forebearers in Pendragon taught him how to convince players to play the game the way it was designed, right? And we see that DNA in all of the games that, for me, do experience right. They tell us what to do. They tell us how to do it. And I think that for me, if I were playing the game, I would know exactly what to do at any given moment. And as a GM, they're really just baked in beliefs. We know what those life paths believe and what those characters will be rewarded for. And I think that's really cool. So that's Miseries and Misfortunes. That is a brand new game, like only a few weeks old. It is by Luke Crane, published by The Burning Wheel, of course. If you're watching this live on Twitch and you want to learn more about the game, you can use the Miseries command in chat, and that will give you a link to the website. If you want to check it out and you're watching this on YouTube, www.burningwheel.com/miseries-misfortunes. I'll put a link down in the comments. Definitely go and check it out. Pick up the PDF. Even the inexpensive like print book is beautiful because it's a Burning Wheel game. So they put a ton of time and energy into it. So go and check it out and give it a try. You never know. You may think that you don't have the rapier it takes to visit 1648 France. But I think if you give it a try, if you read the book, take a little dip into Dumas, and I think you will find that it's much more accessible than it appears, and that the game's mechanisms are going to help you. Because, you know, if we can learn about Azeroth, if we can delve into Duskfall, France should be much easier to understand, right? So go out there, go try it out. If this seems like a cool game, I would love to play. I'd love to play a version of it. I'd love to do like a stream. Obviously, I'm very busy right now, but as with every good game I have ever read, yes, please, I want to play it. But maybe you can play it for me. So go check it out. Thanks for coming, everybody. This has been a first look. Miseries and Misfortunes. Have a good one.